Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. All praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakal Kadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Salute to all the Akim and the four winds, preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever. The hopeful elect, the elect. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel, and you have come back to the fold. Shalom to you sisters, you Akwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. Shalom. This your brother Ram Yahawada with the lesson. And yeah, hey, here we are. It's becoming clearer and clearer. You know, as you could see, it says Europe. You know what I mean? Conservative, right? So this is the Europeans speaking. Their mind on the things that's going on. The Lord said, "What we see through a glass darkly," but the Lord is making it clear, like He's putting some type of solution in the water, or how, I don't know if you ever had a pool, but back in the day we had a pool, and we had to put like the chemicals and the things in it, and the water was like real dark, and it even had like little creatures swimming around in it. But once you put the chemicals, it was too much for anything else to live in it. And that's basically ultimately what the Lord is doing. He's purifying things, man. He's cleaning it to the ultimate purifying agent, which is the ICBM missiles. So it says Turkish Interior Minister, whole world hates U.S., right? Your U.S. United States government. The whole world hates America, right? Europe is U.S. pawn, right? And I mean, it is, but it isn't, right? Because we know that Britain really runs the show, but America's the face of this thing. So America's gonna get the what do you call it? Because this is their way of bailing out, man. This is their way of bailing out and putting everything on America, because it does, because they used America as the bully, right? They used America as the face of it. They used America as the bully, and as things go, they know that people want to be on the winning side of things. So Russia's looking good, China's looking good. So it's like, oh, well, you know what? I don't know if I want to. So they want to throw. One thing Edomite is good at, and this dude is an Edomite. This Turkish guy, he's an Edomite. And one thing they're good at is throwing somebody else under the bus and not themselves when they're just as guilty. Just as guilty. But these are the things that's what? Biblical. It's going into that time.
Know what Russia is, where Russia is in Africa. They know what role Russia played when they were getting liberated from colonialism. There are almost no single African country that did not receive our support, information, sometimes military support, sometimes financial support. We have very sustainable, good, friendly relations with African countries, and we continue to have these relations with them. And if these people knew what is the state of things in Africa now, they would not hinder the supplies of Russian food and Russian fertilizers to Africa, because their yields, their crops depend on this, and the salvation of hundreds of thousands of people from starving to death depends on this. And there is still our fertilizers in some European ports. And I've mentioned that a lot of times we are ready to transfer them to the African nations free of charge. Partially, it has started under the pressure of the Secretary General of the UN, but this problem has not been resolved in full. So these officials from the European Union should stop talking these empty words. They know what Russia is, where Russia is in Africa. They know what role Russia.
North Korea launched a long-range ballistic missile into the sea off Japan's west coast on Saturday after warning of a strong response to upcoming military drills by South Korea and the United States. Japanese authorities said the missile plunged into waters inside Japan's exclusive economic zone more than an hour after it was launched, suggesting the weapon was one of Pyongyang's largest missiles. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida said the missile appeared to have been ICBM class, referring to an intercontinental ballistic missile. He told a briefing Japan strongly condemned the launch, calling it a threat to the international community. Japan said the missile appeared to have a range of more than 8,700 miles, or 14,000 kilometers, sufficient to reach the U.S. mainland.
Yeah, so this is Revelation chapter 17, verse 15. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, which are people, where the whore sitteth are peoples. See, and the multitudes and nations and tongues, right? So I don't know if you heard the phrase called a sea of people. It's kind of like that when it talks about the three unclean frogs. It's talking about three unclean frogs that came out of the sea. It's talking about peoples, basically speaking of these different nations, right? It says, and the 10 horns which thus sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, right? The original 10 countries that make up of NATO, or the 10 empires, things of the Edomites that make up NATO. It says, and shall make her desolate, right? They're gonna destroy America, because it said that when you read up above this, it talks about how it's the dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns, right? and there should be an eighth head that came from the 7th, right? Which the 8th is what America, which came out of the 7th, which would be England, right? So it says they're gonna make her desolate, which is talking about America, because it came from out of England, and naked, right, exposed, which that's the thing that's happening to America, because America's the face of this thing. Like I always say, they set up America, and now it's convenient because America's been the face of the Western society, right? Though most of the Amalek, the powers that be, rule out of England, right? So so it says, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire, because they're gonna all shoot missiles upon America, and as you can see, it just said in the article, the very first article, and even the other ones, is showing how the world, those other videos I showed you, showing how the world is coming against America for power, or Yahweh, or the Most High, however you want to say it, right? because it's really Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, have put in the hearts, right, which is lob, your mind, to feel his will, right? The Lord's going to put an evil thought in their mind, just like he did Gog and Magog. He's going to put an evil thought in their mind unto the beast, right? It's NATO, right? It's the 10 horns, going back to Greece, Rome, right? Those dominant Edomite empires, right? That's why the NATO, not NATO, is the EU, call it the Treaty of Rome, letting them know that they're those Roman Edomites, right? It says yeah, so that it may be fulfilled, feel the will of the Lord, and to agree. Yes, and that's what they're doing. They're saying, look, everybody, they putting tariffs and doing this, but Amalek is the one who's telling them to do this. A small one should lead you out to the battle, man. Right? Roughly paraphrasing, a small one is going to lead you out to the battle, because really, Amalek is the smallest amongst the Edomites, and then the smallest amongst all the heathens, but they're leading you out into the battle. Because America's nothing. America's just the face of this thing. So that's why it makes it convenient. And these people, that's the elite, the Illuminati, they know that. That's why the Turkish guy is saying that. It's easy to just step back and go, oh, I have nothing to do. I'm not an Edomite. With the Turkish guy, he's an Edomite too. He's just responsible. He helped them. He sent his so-called secret service guys to do all sorts of hits and murders all around the world and this and that to get the outcome that they wanted. But now that it's not coming around the way they want it, hey, now they have to step back and go, oh, it's America. And everybody hates America now. It ain't us. But this is the way the Lord wrote it up. Yeah, these shall hate the whore, right? And they're starting to hate America. Right? Because America's been around. What do they call it when you're doing business? You're in bed. You're in bed with these people. Right? She's a whore. She's been in bed with every nation. It says, and give and to agree and give their kingdoms unto the beast, unto the word of power shall be fulfilled, right? And to the word of the Most High shall be fulfilled. And we're coming to that time. They gave the power to America. That's why they made America, what is it? They made the American dollar the world currency. But now it's coming to an end. They said, oh, we need to jump out of we need to come up with our own currency. We don't need the American dollar. No. Oh, they're doing their own, they're trying to jump, they're jumping ship. Right? Now they're hating the whore. Because it's not suiting them. Not that they're repenting. They're just trying to get out. They're just trying to find their way out. And the woman which does saw it is that great city, right? Which is Babylon. Babylon the Great. Which you can read, read that above. Mystery Babylon, right? I think it's what is that? Oh, right here, 5, right here. It's mystery says, and upon her forehead is the name written, Mystery Babylon, the Great, the mother of harlots. Right, harlot going into whore, and abominations of the earth, and nothing could be more filthy or abominable than man having sex with men, and America promotes that throughout the world. Not to mention a bunch of other debauchery things, right? So is that great city, right? That city, which is America, because America's not a country; it's really a city state, which they're just. It's all about money, basically. It's never really anything, which reigneth over the kings of the earth, right? Because what have America been able to do? Push tariffs, even though they're not really ruling, but they're ruling in a sense. You know what I mean? So America's been the face because now they can put tariffs. Oh, well, according to the American dollar, we could put tariffs on you because that way it charges you more money to change your money to American dollars in order to buy oil. And then now at the point people are, things are changing. And the Lord is allowing rift to come in. The Lord said a kingdom should not stand. How can Satan stand if Satan goes against Satan? And now, what is it? Turkey, they're Edomites. They're going against America. Russia's Edomite. They're going against America. So these are all Satan. They're really, Satan just means adversary. These are all adversaries of really who the Israelites, you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, and now they're going against each other, and what? Their kingdom are predicated to fall in order to make Jacob kingdom come after that, which is dealing with the elect. Yeah, so this is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 11. Because ye were glad, right? America was glad. Really the world, but especially America. Right? The world was glad. Then it was glad to put America as the face of this whole thing, and so that it could prop this thing up and have the system that they wanted. Right? You were glad because ye rejoiced, O ye destroyers of my inheritance, right? Which is dealing with you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. You're the inheritance of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, right? Because ye are grown fat as the heifer at grass, right? What was America speaking? America's the richest country, richest nation in the world, and we're the best nation in the world. And even all these heathens, man, they come to America and they got their shops and this and that, and hurry up and buy, because these are things, they want to sell their their so-called halal type things that's not good for you. Pork, this and that. Though they wouldn't eat pork ever, but they have no issue, and that's the thing where Israel, you need to have, you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Indian need to have the same mentality, because that's what it tells you in the scripture. You're not supposed to eat anything that diet of itself, or or things that just like roadkill or whatever. You're not supposed to eat that, right? But it says it's okay for you to sell it to the heathen. And that's how the heathen look at you. It's okay for us to sell it to you. I'm a Muslim. I'll never eat pork. But I will literally own a 7-Eleven, and I will have all sorts of pork hot dogs, pork items in my store, and I will sell it to you. Because it doesn't matter to me about how I give things to you. Which really they know who you are, because those things that keep you underneath these other nations, man, that keeps you beneath, right? So it says and ballow as the bull, right? They're eating good. All these other nations are eating good off you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. Your mother shall be sore. See, now after they ate good, now things ain't looking so good. Now, Turkey, even what is it, Saudi Arabia, all these they're backing out, and they finna go over to the BRICS nations. They finna go and click up with Russia, with China, because why? The Russia and China industrial oil, gas, all that thing is looking a lot better than America, because America was foolish enough to outsource all their resources in order to make slave wage money. But then it didn't suit them. It didn't benefit them. It didn't benefit them at all. So that was the most foolish thing that they could have ever did. You know what I mean? But it was all set up and designed by the Most High, right? But they ate good. But now things are not looking so good for America. They was okay with the American dollar, right? That's why France is saying, look, I'm not going to help you in the war, but I'll help you with defense. But I'm not going to help you in the war. But ultimately, they're not going to help you with defense either. You know, because ultimately, and then what, England is your mother, and your mother, which is England, shall be sore confounded. Right? She's going to basically be ashamed. She's just, in which that's already happening now. They're ashamed of America. She that bore you shall be ashamed, right? Behold, which means feast your eyes, look, pay attention. The hindermost, where's the hinder? Hinder is the end. So, you had a place, there's Africa, whatever you call it, what they want to call it, which really was the land of Ham. So there's always been the land of Ham where people dwelled at. You always have what they call now is Europe. Europe has always been over there. And then you always had Asia. So you had those three, and then the fourth, because there's four winds or four corners of the earth, and you have the hindermost part, which is what, America, and that hindermost part, which is America, the fourth part of the earth, which is America, the hindermost of the nations, shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert, right? Because what? They're going to shoot ICBM missiles on America that so many missiles are going to be shot, there's not going to be one blade of grass left on America. So that's the thing that's coming to this place. Whether you want it, like it or not, accept it or whatever, believe it, don't believe it, disbelieve it or not, well, you can see that these nations are starting to hate them. Even their mother, wait till you see their mother hate them. Once you see England step up and say, oh yeah, I don't want nothing to do with America, when it's the one that's been running America technically, behind the scenes. Right? Once you see that, that's how you know this place is in trouble. But a lot of you're on Instagram, Facebook, you're on a lot of BS. You know what I mean? You're not really paying attention to the times. Right? Yeah, so this is Revelation chapter 18, verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, dealing with the Israelites and the elect out of the nation of Israel. Not everybody in the world, just only the elect out of the nation of Israel, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not her plagues, right? And you know, you got pestilence, you got famine, and the ultimate plague is what? The ICBM missiles, right? That even her mother, right, which is England, is going to shoot missiles upon her, which is America. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she reward you, and double unto her, double according to her works, in the cup which she have filled to her double, how much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her, right? That whore, you know what I mean? Mystery Babylon, that the mother of harlots, right? Because every nation was in bed with her, right? It says, and then she lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her, for she saith in her heart, I set a queen, and I am no widow, and shall not see sorrow. And see, and that's where you messed up. You didn't think about your latter end, as the scriptures say. You didn't think about your latter end. Every empire has failed. You let the technology puff you up. You let your rulership in the technology puff you up, and well, I would say you forget about the Most High, but then the Lord said that the Most High is not in all your thoughts. So you're not even thinking that they're, of your latter end, according to that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, right? And that's them ICBM missiles. Death, mourning, and famine. Told you, see, the famine's coming, man. And she shall be utterly burnt, right? And the ICBM missiles are coming. Burnt with fire, right? The earth shall melt with fervent heat. For strong is the Lord power, the Most High power, who judgeth her, right? Right, which really is going to be the Yahweh Shai that's coming to judge, right? In the stead of the Most High. So the Lord, the Adawanya power, Elohim's, right? Yahweh Shai, who judgeth her, right? Because really Yahweh Shai is going to come judge her, technically, but through the power of the Most High. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication. See, you're in bed with everybody. And the kings of the earth who committed fornication and lived deliciously with her, right, shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, right? And that's dealing with America is going to be burning, turning into a desert from so many ICBM missiles pelting the earth that nothing will remain. Yeah, so this is Isaiah chapter 47, verse 7. And thus saith, I shall be a lady forever. And that's the mind frame that you have had as America, as the Edomites, right? The way it was looking, you're like, damn, this could last forever. But even in your so-called reign of America, you've been up and down, right? You start off as the freaking so-called 13 colonies, poor, and all this other stuff. You got a little bit of money. You fell by the 20s, the 30s. Jake was up. You basically had to go around and destroy Rosewood and Black Wall Street to basically get back up. You had to keep Jake down so you could be up. But even in that, you still thought that you were going to be forever, right? So that thus should not lay these things to heart, which is mind, lob. You didn't think about it. You didn't lay it to your mind. You didn't think, damn, I ain't been doing too good. Why would I think forever? Right? When your greatest period was really only the 50s. Right? But you figure you would go to war. Anytime you did bad, you would just start a war. Build guns and this and that. And all these type of things. Create your own enemies, destroy them, and then start all over again. Anytime you went up and down, and you spent like there was no tomorrow. Right? Or should I say you spent like there's going to be a tomorrow. Oh, that's okay. We'll just start another war. That's okay. Yeah, we're down, but we'll just start another war. All right? Greatest investment you can invest in is the what is it called? The military. Can't think of how it's called in the stock market. But basically, the defense, right? It's the best way to really make real money is to invest in defense. Right? So you didn't think about it. You didn't lay it to heart. Neither did thus remember the latter end of every society. Let alone you, when you're not smart. You have the dust upon your head. Right? The Lord said you were always going to have the dust, which is confusion. And if you think about it, your whole existence has always been not so bright, not so, you know what I mean? You've been up and down, like you literally had the whole world in your hand, and somehow Jake loaned you money. Somehow you still had to steal everything. Stole all the patents to all the inventions Jake created. You know what I mean? You had to pretend that Jake was less than to have a false thing about yourself to prop yourself up under falsehood. You know what I mean? But it says, therefore, hear now this, that thus are given to pleasure, right? And that's all America is about. It's about pleasure. All the way to the max. Right? Pleasure. Debauchery. Homosexuality. Lesbianism. Eating. You can literally eat from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep. You can literally play games all day. You know what I mean? Just pleasure, man. That dwelleth carelessly, and ultimately, it's a careless way to dwell, man. Right? To give your men estrogen and the women too much estrogen to make the women masculine, right? It's careless, right? To ship off all your industrial things that you create is careless, because you hear what happened with Russia when you gave the tariffs. I thought that was amazing. You put a lot of tariffs on Russia, so they wasn't really making that much money. So what they did is just put production on hyperdrive so they could actually make their money. And it basically put you out of business. Now everybody's willing to do business with Russia, and they want to cancel out the American dollar. Careless. Right? that saith in thy heart, right? Your mind, you say in your heart, your mind, I am and none else beside me. I shall not set as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. Which you're already experiencing that now. You've been experiencing that for the last, what, 50 years, maybe 60 years. White people are not having children at a fast enough rate. There are more older white people than there are babies. So you're already having loss of children, but not just that. You're gonna have pestilence. You're gonna have famine, and then ultimately the ICBM missiles, right? But the Lord says, but those two things. So this is what the Lord says. This is the Most High, and He's not gonna say something and then take it back. The Lord doesn't work like that. Even when you watch that one movie, what was it, Air? God dang it, what's his name? The dude did Footloose. He did the Air, and amongst those African, he told them something, and they were upset, and then he tried to say, well, I was saying this, and I wanna take it back, and even under the tradition of Africa, they say you can't say something. This is just a man, and a heathen man on top of that. You can't say something and then expect to try to take it back. And the Most High is greater than that, way greater than that, right? So it says, but these two things shall come to thee in one moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection, right? In the time of your sufficiency, when you got everything going good in your sufficiency, in your in the perfection of the new world order, that's when calamity is going to hit. Just like you say peace and safety, and then sudden destruction, you're going to come down upon Israel with great wrath, knowing that you have but a short time. That's the same way the Lord is going to do to you. See? The Lord know how to fix you, right? For the multitude of thy sorceries, right? All this different witchcraft, familiar spirits, all these different things, these satanic, what is it called? Square things, right? Everything's a square. Everything's Mason, Masonic, satanic, Masonic, and satanic. You know, your Wells Fargo's with a square. Your Bank of America's with a square. Your was it Chase? It's like a circle thing, but then it's a square. So let you know that this whole thing is a Masonic. Your Chevron has the I forgot the things that's called, but basically go back to the Masons, right? All this stuff is in everyday life. You know what I mean? Your Michael Jordan's basically is a pyramid. You drink your Monster drinks that has 666 on it. All this thing, everything in America is satanic, man. Right? That's your witchcrafts, man. Your Christian churches is satanic, pushing white supremacy, right? And for the great abundance of thy enchantments, man, and that's ultimately what you've been doing. You've been praying to Satan, bringing in drugs to destroy Israel, to destroy the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. You brought in all sorts of drugs. right? Enchantments, right? So, Kol Elohim Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai B'Shem Rekal Kadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the Akim and the Four Winds, preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever. The hopeful elect, the elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel and have come back to the fold, Shalom. To you sisters, you Akwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence, Shalom, and the Baba Ball.